Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here, along with, of course, head coach Scott Langer. Coach, boy, going to Game 5, that was one heck of a series with Minot. Thursday up in Minot, ends up being a double overtime game that with 5 minutes left of the double overtime, they end up pulling one off and win it 3-2. And then Friday, a 4-2 loss for your squad, and again, pushing it to a Game 5. A lot of people a little surprised by the series as close as it was, but some really good goaltending on both sides and some pretty good defensive hockey overall. Like, you and I talked about pregame, Sunday even. It wasn't that your team wasn't playing well by any means. Minot just really kind of stepped up their game, it seemed like. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's playoff hockey. Everything gets tighter. Officials' hands don't go up as often. Guys bring their best game, and Minot did a good job of bottling things up, and everything they seemed to touch went turned to gold. And we were looking for some bounces in a couple of those games on the road, and we just couldn't find a bounce. But there's always different ways to get to the end result, and for us, it doesn't matter what the people think, and it's about moving on to the Cup finals here. And I thought our guys played a heck of a game and stuck with it, especially being scored on, late in the period, not getting down and finding a way to score in overtime.
Yeah. Well, that was big because, you have the lead, and like you mentioned, with 28 seconds left of regulation, they scored to tie it up, send it to overtime. But like you said, your guys, kept their composure and just kept fighting. I thought it was interesting, the on-ice interviews with Megan, both between the first and second and third with Clay and Nico. They both talked about not letting up, not being complacent or comfortable or getting comfortable, that they've got to continue to fight. And I think that really reverberated going into the into the overtime. Like you said, it's academic now. It's in the books. But a friend of mine said, and we've talked about challenges and being pushed at different points throughout the year. But a friend of mine said, well, now they know what it feels like to get punched in the mouth. And what happens when you get punched in the mouth? You spit the blood and you go after them. It's one. And I thought that was kind of a cool analogy in a lot of ways, because it was a challenge. It was a heck of a contest for them to be able to have to fight through it. I think it only makes them stronger, don't you think? Yeah,
I mean, I said it in the paper. It's learning lessons. We got a lot of guys that never played in a playoff of this caliber, what's on the line. So for our guys to go through a series like that and find different ways to win games and have to respond in different situations, I think it's extremely important heading into the next series. But getting punched in the mouth to me is losing that series. And a couple of years back, we were the top seed and we ended up losing to the bottom seed. But again, our guys played really good hockey and found a way out of the first round.
Mm-hmm. That's all that matters. Going on, obviously, Bismarck, they're waiting in the wings, or on the wings in a sense, I guess. It seems like it's been a long time since the Wings have actually faced Bismarck, and maybe that's just because of the time of year and all the games with Minot and so on. But have you had a chance to watch any of the Bismarck playoff games with the Wilderness?
Yeah, they're playing fast hockey, and they found their offense. They're scoring goals and nice goals. So we know that they're a team that can hurt you, especially offensively. They've got their goaltender back in net, so I'm sure they have a lot of confidence over there. But our guys played them well throughout the season, and again, we expect another tough, grinded out type series.
Wouldn't expect anything less from Central Division opponents, that's for sure. I wanted to talk quickly about the regrouping that we talked about, I guess, before Sunday's game, and how you approach the team after losing 2 on the road, and it's a 2-2 game going to a 5. Like I said, it feels like it was a little closer than maybe some people expected, maybe even some of the people in this locker room expected. What do you do as a coaching staff from a mental and emotional kind of standpoint? Do you talk to the players individually at all? Do you, is there a way you kind of coach them up from?
They just got to remember, what you bring to their attention is all the success that they had during the season, and the success they had against these same opponents who have the same players. And sometimes they just need to be reminded of how good they can play it.
Sure.
When they're on the top of their game, how good they are. And it's you don't need to say too much in this room. You got a lot of leaders in this room that do a great job of leading the way. And but no, I mean, I had full confidence in this team, and even when we went to overtime again, it's at a certain point, it's your time. You're going to find a bounce here or there. I mean, it can't go that many games without getting a bounce like it did. So, and then Rookie of the Year steps up, Kyle Gaffney, and finds a 5-hole and sends us on to the Central Cup.
Yeah. And again, that's all. The rest is academic. That's the important part, is that the Wings advance. And again, against Bismarck. We'll have all the details on those games and so on coming up in just a little bit. Preparation-wise, do you continue on with your weekly practices and so on the way that you have throughout the regular season, or do you change some things up for as you get deeper into the playoffs? Guys are a little banged up and stuff, and as you've said before, that's pretty common for playoff hockey. But do you change anything at all?
Well, I think the amount of time spent on different things is going to change, but you still want to be sharp when you hit the ice on Friday night. You want to make sure all your details are in place. So, we'll take care of that throughout the week, and having the week to prepare is very beneficial for us. I don't feel that going to Game 5 or that series lasting 5 games, is something that can take a toll on you. I think we'll be ready to go come Friday.
Okay. All right, Coach. Well, that's really all I've got for you. We just kind of wanted to break down that series with Minot. As we talked about, it was a tough one, a tight one, but what matters is that the Wings advance, find a way to get it done, and that there's some intestinal fortitude that the Wings players showed having to fight through that. And again, Bismarck coming up Friday, Saturday. We'll have the details on those games here in just a moment as we close things out with Wings Weekly. But Coach, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck against the Bobcats.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, folks, we'll be back with the second portion of Wings Weekly coming up after this.
How you move matters. Avera Orthopedics helps you move freely and live life to the fullest with innovative treatment options customized to your bone, muscle, and joint needs. Whether you suffer from aches, breaks, tears, or dislocations, turn to the orthopedic team experienced in treating every body.
Welcome back to Wings Weekly as we continue on with the overtime game winner. We often have a player joining us in the second portion of Wings Weekly, but this time Kyle Gaffney. You're the one responsible, like Coach just said, finding the 5-hole and being able to get your team out of the overtime period with just 19 seconds left and advance on to the second round. That's got to, I tease Megan sometimes about asking players how it feels to score. I'm like, well, it feels great. What do you expect? But that was a little bit different. That's a different kind of moment. I would imagine a pretty special one in your hockey career to have the guys, jumping on you like that and stuff. And walk us through a little bit about how that all broke down, and then how did you feel when it went the back of the net? That's got to be just a huge moment.
Yeah, no, that's definitely just a great feeling. I still can't believe that happened, but no, I think it was Nico just made a great stretch pass to Randy, and then Randy was able to find me, and I was looking for a pass. I'm usually a pass first kind of player, but nothing was open, so I just kind of closed my eyes, and I was fortunate enough it went in.
Let her rip.
But, yeah.
Well, that, again, huge moment, a nail-biter, and I know the crowd went nuts, and, obviously the team, too. That was a very intense playoff series, and, like I said in the broadcast, you got to tip your hat and give credit to Minot. They really played well. And I thought about this. Throughout the regular season, Minot played the Wings pretty well on most occasions. But especially in the playoffs, and that's why we always say playoff hockey is a little different than regular season, because it is, you are starting over regardless of what your record was, or and the intensity just kind of gets amped up and so on. How did you guys as a team, coming back from Minot, now the series is tied 2-2. I talked to Coach a little bit about how the coaching staff addresses the team. How about player to player? Did you guys get together at all and kind of say, hey, we've got this? Or, how did that go kind of mentally and emotionally?
Saturday night, we went to Davita's Billet's place and just kind of sat around in a circle, talked about what we needed to do, and we all knew what had to be done. And yeah, it was a quick turnaround from Friday's game to go play Sunday, but yeah, we all knew what we needed to do. So
players only meeting, kind of just a chance to kind of, well, like I said, the coach, regroup, so to speak.
For sure.
You obviously a huge win there, and throughout the year, you've steadily improved. You've committed to Alaska Fairbanks at the awards banquet. You were voted by your peers, by the guys in this locker room, as most improved and rookie of the year. What does that mean to you to have the guys that have the lockers next to you or across the room for you vote for you for those awards?
That's really something special. I mean, just the amount of just players that we have on this team and just like leaders that we have, it's really just an honor to get those awards, and could have went to any rookie, any player this year, could have went to any of them, but yeah, it's definitely just truly an honor to get those.
I always feel like, and I mentioned this with Spencer Schneider last week too, that I feel like when the award comes from your, the guys that are on the bench with you and stuff, it's a little bit different than hits a little different, so to speak, than if it were to come from somebody else or something else, because that is an ultimate show of respect, and those are guys that see the work you're putting in and the improvement and so on. I mentioned Alaska Fairbanks. I always like to talk to guys. Last time I had you on, I don't think at that time anyway, I don't think that you had committed yet. But what did you like about Alaska Fairbanks that made you feel like it was the right move?
It was the staff. They just seem like they understood like how I played, and I understood how they want me to play, and like Vertez, Nielsen, and Matsui are all going there, so that definitely helps. Just like being an incoming freshman, that just to know some people. Sure. So
definitely having some familiar faces in the locker room certainly can't hurt. I talked to Coach Langer. Obviously, moving on to the second round, Bismarck has been waiting after they beat the Wilderness 3-0 in their series. How do you guys prepare for Bismarck? What do you have to do?
I think we have to just prepare the same way, watch some video, and then just got to play our game. I think if anything, we don't really have to change anything, but just watch some more video on them.
And knowledge is power. All right. Well, I tell you what, Kyle, again, fairly abbreviated, but again, since you've been on before, we're not going to go through how you got started skating and all that kind of stuff, but I just wanted to touch base with you a little bit on that big win and the overtime goal, a moment I'm sure that you'll remember for a long time.
For sure.
But I appreciate you coming on the show with us again. Friday, June 4th, folks, Game 1 versus the Bismarck Bobcats. Edge Aberdeen is the corporate game sponsor. 5:30 doors open. 7:15 puck drop. Sunday, June 5th. That's Saturday. Should be Saturday, June 5th. Game 2 versus the Bismarck Bobcats. $15 corporate bar stools available. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852. And a parking lot party going on with Hub City Radio on Saturday in the East parking lot. 5:30 doors open. 7:15 puck drop. An important note: they're talking 100 degrees this weekend. It is going to be hot. They're talking 95 to 100 degrees Friday and Saturday. So because of that, the west doors will not be used. They will not be opened. It's with that much heat coming in, just trying to make sure that they can keep the temperature in the building as cool as possible and make sure we have a good ice and good playing surface. And that west door, of course, it's close proximity to the rink. It affects things a little different than the front east doors do because of the lobby and everything. So bear in mind that is those west doors will not be open. Don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. Doors open at 5:30, puck drops at 7:15. Get your tickets now at tickets.aberdeenwings.com. $10 general admission tickets are also on sale now at any of the 4 Sea Express locations in Aberdeen with additional purchase. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit aberdeenwings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Once again, Kyle Gaffney, Plymouth, Michigan, thanks so much for joining me and giving us a little insight as to how the playoff series with Minot went and what we're looking forward to with Bismarck.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. All right, folks, that'll wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.